What do Captain Ahab and the Black Knight from Monty Python and Governor Ron DeSantis all have in common?
Never, ever back down from a fight.
That's it. The Disney DeSantis mess comes down to a company that criticized the governor's law and a governor who goes after those who criticize him with everything he's got and will not quit.
You fire back with overwhelming force.
So he and his fellow Republican lawmakers punished Disney.
Based on how a guest in our state chose to comport itself, I think what ended up happening is the idea of special districts were taken a look at.
By, in their own words, targeting Disney, which Disney, by the way, could cite if it claims violations of free speech and the Equal Protection Clause.
This bill does target one company. It targets the Walt Disney Company.
First going into special session to dissolve the Disney Reedy Creek District with no replacement, then realizing they didn't think that through.
And then we also just weren't sure how they would even manage this.
Then taking heat on grounds that it could saddle taxpayers with Disney's debts, and then going into another special session to replace it with a new district under state control. And then finding out the old board they dissolved signed away most of his new district's powers to Disney, and finding out they did that in a public meeting a month after they did it.
You are not going to win this fight. This governor will.
This fight. That state senator and former state Republican Party boss Blaise Ngolia picking up on the governor's and GOP lawmakers' description of their actions in terms of waging a fight against Florida's largest employer.
And we're just going to have to, keep fighting back.
And describing their public policy decisions in terms of throwing punches.
That really is I think, a strong 1-2 punch.
While describing a well-known family entertainment company in words we used to use in describing terrorist or a cult.
A small group of extremists who want to indoctrinate our children.
Fighting both Disney and basic grammar in one fell swoop.
We all love Disney. However, you cannot indoctrinate our children.
What more can you say?
I don't know how I'm going to follow that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, we could follow that with Ngolia's objection to the old Reedy Creek district that gave Disney special treatment.
The Disney Corporation, the people who reside in this district, had quite simply an unfair advantage over their competitors.
And then we could follow that by showing how he gave Disney special treatment in 2021 by adding a loophole specifically designed to exempt Disney from the state's new regulations on the tech industry.
We're having a hard time trying to define it so we weren't getting to the point where it was where it wasn't capturing Disney Plus.
Yeah, so in 2021 he came up with this.
Operated by a company that owns and operates a theme park or entertainment complex does not qualify as a social media platform under the bill.
Now, after Disney criticized the governor's restrictions on discussing sexual orientation in school, DeSantis said giving Disney that loophole was embarrassing and ridiculous and took it away.
One of the provisions that got snuck into there at the end was a carve-out for anybody who operated a theme park, which is meant to protect Disney.
But before Disney criticized him, records show the governor's own staff worked with Disney and the legislature to write that loophole, exempting it from his regulations.
We treat all corporations equally, and Disney is no exception.
No exception, with the exceptions of giving Disney special treatment before it criticized the governor's actions and then targeting Disney and, in the governor's own words, punching it and singling out from its major competitors with new state inspections.
It's just very important that we have uniform applicability of the laws.
Again, except for the ones they target, meaning the state will start inspecting Disney rides, but not other large theme park rides, cracking down on Disney while its major competitors just a few miles down the road get a pass.
These inspections will be required for amusement parks within special districts. And as you know, those parks are not necessarily within special districts.
Here's Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson claiming they're making everyone play by the same rules.
Everyone should have to play by the same rules.
Now watch him endorse the plan that singles out Disney from other large theme parks in his very next breath.
This change proposed by the legislature and the governor makes sense.
And all while the governor mused of building stuff in the Disney district that his board declared, in their words, supreme authority over.
What should we do with this land? And so, it's like, okay, kids, people have said, maybe have maybe create a state park.
A taxpayer-funded state park right next to the largest network of privately funded parks in the country.
Maybe try to do more amusement parks.
Government-planned amusement parks, what could go wrong?
Someone even said, maybe you need another state prison.
Well, based on the configuration of the property that DeSantis board now controls, if they do add a prison, it would likely go next to Disney's Wide World of Sports or the Disney All-Star Resorts. That's All-Star Music, All-Star Movies, All-Star Prison.
So that is now going to be analyzed to see what would make the most sense.
The governor likened it all to keeping Disney in a pen.
And, you know, the Disney, we make sure that we'll keep them in their pen one way or another.
Now, in the course of his fight, the governor's actually raised some valid points of debate about the incentives Disney received to lure it to Florida, help it take off, and whether to what extent they should continue. But again, only after Disney criticized him did he even bring this up and show what he means by firing back at those who criticize him with overwhelming force. And along the way, make it look personal and vindictive, just as voters across the nation are getting to know him.
That Governor DeSantis is close to making a fool of himself with his Walt Disney obsession.
Well, DeSantis is going for the Top Gun look, or as he calls it, the Top Gov look. But to use his movie analogies, he runs the risk of looking more like Kylo Ren throwing his fit, or Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and the ill-fated knight who did not know when to quit.